In the bustling streets of Capernaum, the air was thick with the dust of a road and the murmurs of the crowd. Amidst the throng, there was a woman, frail and hunched, her eyes a mirror of silent desperation. For 12 long years, she had borne the burden of an ailment that bled her spirit dry, casting her into the shadows of society. She was known by many, but not by name, only by the curse that plagued her. Word had spread like wildfire that Jesus of Nazareth, the healer, was passing through the town. The streets swelled with people, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the man who performed miracles, who spoke of hope and life in ways that stirred the soul. The woman, driven by a last flicker of faith, pushed through the sea of bodies. Her heart pounded, not from the effort, but from the fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, she might find healing. Jesus moved calmly through the crowd, his presence a beacon of peace amidst the clamor. The woman's breath quickened as she drew nearer, her fingertips tingling with anticipation. She didn't dare to cry out, she didn't dare to ask. Instead, with a trembling hand, she reached out, her fingers brushing the edge of his cloak. In that single delicate touch, she poured out all her hope, all her faith. In an instant, she felt it, a warmth, a light that surged through her veins, chasing away the darkness that had held her captive for so long. She knew, without a doubt, that she was healed. She could have melted away into the crowd, a healed but hidden figure, but the power of that moment rooted her in place. Jesus stopped. He turned, his eyes searching the crowd, knowing that power had gone out from him. "Who touched me?" he asked, his voice calm but insistent. The woman's heart raced, her face flushed with a mixture of fear and gratitude. The disciples looked at each other, bewildered. In such a crowd, how could he ask who had touched him? Finally, the woman stepped forward, her body trembling, but her spirit alight. She fell at his feet, tears streaming down her cheeks. "It was I," she confessed, her voice a choked whisper. "I touched your cloak, and I was healed." Jesus looked at her, his gaze filled with compassion. He lifted her to her feet, his touch gentle and reassuring. "Daughter," he said, his voice warm and kind, "your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." The crowd watched in awe as the woman, now radiant with newfound health and hope, walked away. She was no longer the woman with the issue of blood, but a testament to the power of faith and the boundless compassion of the one they called the Messiah. This retelling of the story of Jesus and the woman with the issue of blood is a powerful and emotionally charged narrative that captures the essence of faith, desperation, and divine compassion. Here's an analysis of its key elements. 1. Emotional depth and desperation. The story begins by painting a vivid picture of the woman's suffering, both physical and emotional. Her 12-year affliction is described not just as a medical condition, but as a spiritual and social burden. The imagery of her being frail and hunched, and her eyes reflecting silent desperation, immediately draws the reader into her world of pain and isolation. This sets the stage for her act of faith, making her eventual healing all the more poignant. 2. Dramatic tension. The bustling streets of Capernaum and the swelling crowd create a sense of chaos and urgency. The woman's struggle to reach Jesus through the throng of people adds tension to the narrative. Her internal conflict, her fear, her hope, and her determination is palpable, making the reader root for her as she pushes forward, driven by a fragile but unyielding faith. 3. The power of touch. The moment of healing is described with a delicate yet profound touch. The woman's trembling hand brushing the edge of Jesus' cloak is a powerful symbol of her faith. The description of the warmth and light surging through her veins conveys not just physical healing, but a spiritual renewal. This moment is the emotional climax of the story, and it is rendered with a sense of awe and wonder. 4. Jesus' response. Jesus' reaction is pivotal to the story's emotional impact. His question, "Who touched me?" adds a layer of mystery and suspense. The disciples' bewilderment and the woman's fear of being discovered heighten the drama. When she finally steps forward, her confession is filled with raw emotion, and Jesus' response is tender and affirming. Calling her daughter and acknowledging her faith elevates her from a nameless outcast to a beloved child of God. This moment is deeply moving and underscores the theme of divine compassion. 5. Transformation and hope. The story concludes with the woman's transformation. She is no longer defined by her ailment, but by her faith and healing. The crowd's awe and the woman's radiant hope serve as a testament to the power of faith and the transformative love of Jesus. This ending leaves the reader with a sense of hope and inspiration. 6 themes. Faith, The woman's unwavering belief in Jesus' power to heal is the driving force of the story. Compassion. Jesus' gentle and affirming response highlights his boundless love and mercy. Transformation. The woman's physical and spiritual healing symbolizes the transformative power of divine intervention. Courage. The woman's bravery in stepping forward to confess her act of faith is a powerful message about the importance of owning one's story. 7. Language and imagery. The language is rich and evocative, with vivid imagery that brings the scene to life. Phrases like, "The air was thick with the dust of the road," and "her eyes a mirror of silent desperation," create a strong visual and emotional impact. The use of sensory details, such as the warmth and light the woman feels, enhances the reader's connection to the story. This retelling is a masterful blend of drama, emotion, and spiritual insight. It captures the essence of the biblical narrative while adding layers of emotional depth and human experience. The story is not just about a miraculous healing, but about the power of faith, the importance of compassion, and the transformative impact of divine love. It is a compelling and engaging narrative that resonates on both a personal and spiritual level. Lessons from this story. Faith takes action. The woman didn't wait for Jesus to notice her. She pushed through the crowd to reach him. Lesson. Sometimes breakthroughs require bold steps of faith. James 2 verse 17. Faith without works is dead. Jesus responds to faith, not just need. Many people touched Jesus in the crowd, but only one person touched him with faith. Lesson. It's not just about being around Jesus, but believing in his power to transform us. Hebrews 11 verse 6. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. God sees the unseen. Society ignored the woman, treating her as an outcast, but Jesus called her daughter, giving her identity and love. Lesson. God sees our struggles even when the world overlooks us. Psalm 34 verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Healing is more than physical. Jesus didn't just heal her body. He affirmed her, gave her peace, and restored her dignity. Lesson. God's healing is total, body, soul, and spirit. Isaiah 53 verse 5. By his stripes we are healed. Your testimony inspires others. By stepping forward, she publicly testified of what Jesus did, strengthening the faith of others. Lesson. Don't hide what God has done in your life. Your testimony could encourage someone else's faith. Revelation 12 verse 11. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony.